I'll keep it short as well. Martin's got about 15 pages to go through, so I'm quite on there. So, yeah, I'd just like to thank everyone, especially the bridesmaids. They've done a good job today, and the best man as well. You know, the bride's father. You know, they've all done a good job. So we've got some presents for you after. So we'll sort them out after. Yeah, just thank you all for coming and being a part of mine and Kate's special day. You all join me in a toast to my new gorgeous bride, Katie. Thank you.
Katie.
And just hope you enjoy your evening. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Martin, the groom's brother, and I'm the best man.
Juicy.
When I was informed that I was going to be the best man, I thought I'd better do some research on the internet. And I found a lot of good stuff on there, and I realised I was originally on there to look up do's and don'ts, which rather narrowed down my options. Don't mention ex-girlfriends, don't swear, don't tell rude jokes, don't tell lies. Do tell mostly positive stories about the groom. Unaccustomed to public speaking as I am, I was really nervous before doing today's speech. However, Kevin was very good to me earlier and took me aside to help calm me down. He said if I did a really good job and went easy on him, I could be the best man at his next wedding. Anyway, let's get started. What can you say about a man who came from humble beginnings, a man who is now quickly rising to the very top of his profession, based solely on intelligence, grit and a willpower to push on where others have fallen? A man who is beginning to distinguish himself at the very highest level amongst his peers, and where no one can say a bad word against him. But enough about me. What I'm really here for this afternoon is to talk about Kevin. So let's move on to his character assassination. I thought I'd better find out some interesting events that happened on the day he was born. Kevin was born on the 26th of October 1984, which was a Friday. Number one in the charts was Wham! With Freedom. And Kevin still loved Wham! To this day. The only other event I found of any relevant importance on this day was the introduction of free family planning. Now, I wouldn't say Kevin was an ugly baby, but our mum only got morning sickness after he was born. There are loads of things I could say about Kevin. For starters, he's handsome, intelligent, he's charm. Sorry, Kevin, I'm having trouble reading you. You have to fill me in later. I thought it'd be best to ask around to see what some of Kevin's friends and family thought about him. His work colleagues described him as a first-class banker. Thinking back now, I may have misheard them. Some other words you could use to describe Kevin are witty, funny, and entertaining. But nobody has said any of them, so I won't use them. He's once described as arrogant, conceited, insensitive, and selfish. Let's face it, if anyone should know him, it would be his mum. Actually, while enjoying his service this afternoon, I couldn't help thinking that it's funny how history repeats itself. I mean, 26 years ago, Katie's mum and dad were sending her to bed with a dummy, and here they are. As you would have found out by now, the best man's speech is to absolutely hammer the groom and get your own back and make him squirm. Although there are a couple of things that you are really not supposed to be mentioned at weddings. But I shall mention them anyway. First of all, there's Kevin's drink problem. The problem being, he can't handle his drink. as you can see by opening envelope number 1 that is on your table.
What was it?
So I'm going to try and carry on from that. Kevin was a geeky child growing up, as you will be able to see by opening envelope number 2. As you can see from the photos, Kevin was a keen angler and also the youngest heavyweight wrestling world champion that Crampton was ever produced. But you'd probably agree with me, it didn't turn out too bad. As we were growing up, it was my job as big brother to terrorise, pester and annoy Kevin. A task I think I did very well. We would be at each other every day, and it would sway back and forth. One of us would win that day and the other would go to bed that night thinking how to get their own back the next day. I threw him down the stairs in a box and he went through the glass on the front door. He then put me through the living room window. I threw him into the fireplace and he hacked at my neck with scissors. So on and so forth, and many black eyes later, we even attempted to break the world record of how many t-shirts you could wear at the same time. I managed to get 20 on him. No mean feat, I might add. But don't think the parents were best pleased with our achievements, as they couldn't get them off him. Then not long later, our dad died, and it was up to me to look out for him, and we grew close. Then me and my brothers gained a new dad in Phil, and my task for looking out for him was passed over. So Kater, blame lies with Phil. I'd like to offer Kevin and Kate some advice. It is very important to get on with your mother-in-laws. A friend of mine hasn't spoken to his in 2 years. Not because he doesn't like her, he just doesn't like to interrupt. At this point it is customary for me to thank people, so I'd like to start with the bridesmaids. So thank you to the maid of honour, Ellie, also my daughter, Courtney, Beth and Megan, who also looked stunning and were only eclipsed by the bride herself. They completed their main job admirably, which was getting Katie here on time. No mean feat, as I understand she put up quite a struggle. I would also like to thank the ushers, Stephen, Dean, Jason and Darren, for carrying out the really difficult task of telling people which side to sit in church. Also a big thank you to the flower girls, Bethany, Kayla and Kira, who did a brilliant job. And last but certainly not least, a big thank you also to the bride's parents, Barry and Angie, and the groom's parents, Patricia and Phil. Without all of you today wouldn't have been possible, and of course for all of you coming to share in this very special occasion. It really has been a great honour to be your best man. I'm just glad you have finally admitted that I am the better man. But jokes aside, it has been a blessing to have you as a brother. You'll be glad to know I'm coming to the end of my speech now. It's only fitting that two childhood sweethearts like Kevin and Katie, who have been together 11 years now, should be getting married today, and I couldn't be happier for them. So I'd like to welcome Katie to the family and send Kevin packing into yours. Best of luck to the two of you, and I really am absolutely delighted for both of you. I hope you have a long and happy future together. It now gives me immense pleasure, not to mention relief, to invite you all to stand and raise your glasses to toast the new Mr. and Mrs. Smith to Kevin and Katie.
Kevin and Katie.
Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.